New cards, PogChamp, new cards, PogChamp. We're going to be looking at some of the new cards released for Phantom Nightmare today. This is mostly just free agents. It's not particularly interesting cards. Cast your opponents into the Outer Dark with Terrors of the Netherroot. So if you're unfamiliar, this is another Netherroot card. We have Horrors of the Netherroot, Bumblers of the Terrors of the Overroot, Fears of the let's just keep going. Target a monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon it to their field, then you can banish a monster they control, then return one of your opponent's banished monsters to the graveyard. If this card is in your graveyard except the turn it was sent there, you can banish it, target a level 1 monster in your graveyard, shuffle it into the deck, then set a Terrors of the Underroot, Terrors of the Overroot, or Terrors of the Netherroot directly from your deck. This card's great. This card is quite good. When your opponent goes for something in the graveyard, you can just get it on their field and then banish it and then return it to the graveyard, which screws up a lot. Unlike all the other Overroot cards, it's kind of Lost Wind also. You're probably playing Terrors of the Overroot in your terrible deck that plays this card because that card's actually insanely good. It's like a slightly worse IDP that recycles itself, which is a great place to be. Next up, endlessly torment your opponents with Eter Machina Carnal. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned if your opponent activated a monster effect in their hand during this duel. So you can always special summon this card. Once per turn, if your opponent activates a monster effect, it gains 1,000 attack. If this card is sent to the graveyard, shuffle it into the deck. This is really cool because the concept is like if your opponent goes for a hand trap, this is a card that punishes that in a way that's not negate the effect of that hand trap. That's really cool. Unfortunately, the effects are ass. So I don't think it's going to matter too much. I guess it is funny if it's like, I asked you turn 1, so I get to summon a 3,000 attack point monster for free, but you can already summon a 3,000 attack point monster for free, and no one does it. So this is not very good. It's a cool concept for a punishing card, but the card is not very punishing. Next up, Illusions. So I like that they are just remaking all the terrible old OCG cards for Illusions. We have some ghosties. This is Envoy of the Wax State. Very funny. I thought that said Wax Stare, and I was like, damn, you ever bring up some shit and they just look back at you with that wax stare? This is like an alternate universe where like we've included wax into our drinking water instead of fluoride. I can't fathom the reason we do that, but you know. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can special summon this card from your hand. Cool. If this card battles, neither can be destroyed by battle. Very cool. At the end of the battle phase, you can make all attack position monsters your opponent currently controls unable to change their battle position or be used as material and have their effects negated till the start of their next battle phase. So, I know a lot of people are going to be like, this card's not very good. I think this card is quite strong. I think this card has the potential to be quite strong. But I will add a caveat that I think that it isn't. Theoretically, there's a lot of decks that can like search illusions, and at present, they don't really have anything good to search except like follow up for next turn. But because every illusion does the same thing, sometimes you're staring at a grip with like 4 pieces of follow up, and you're like, God, I wish I could search like a utility guy. That's why some illusion decks early on were playing the terrible Dark Magician retrain because they were like, I just need something that isn't the normal monsters. This guy's cool because he's a defensive card, which is like if your opponent wipes the board, they're going to do so by wielding the battle phase to walk over your Chimera before they commit to any plays, right? Because they don't want to have to contend with the Mirror Sword Knight in the graveyard. They don't want to have to contend with the Coddle in the graveyard. So they're going to like summon a Pankratops or something and just go combat to try and walk over the guy and either get the Chimera or proc the Chimera Fusion and make you like go into the like a bad Guardian Chimera, right? So if they go for that line, this does prevent it from happening. You get to special it from your hand. You can't walk over it, so it's a really good defensive tool. It's kind of like Fader in that regard. And then this third effect is really strong. At the end of the battle phase, it ensures that anything your opponent has that's stuck around. This is really good against like Rescue Ace, switching like Fire Engine plus the card they summoned off Fire Engine to attack and just go in combat. It ensures that none of those monsters can be used as material, and that their effects are negated. But both like that's really cool. The issue is that it's telegraphed. You're not going to be playing 3 of this card, obviously. And even if you are, then your opponent will just play around it regardless. You're going to be searching it at the end of the combo, which means that your opponent is just going to be like, okay, the battle phase isn't available to me. You can argue if that's worth including this card in your deck. It shores up one of the big weaknesses of the Chimera deck in that the guy only has 2100 attack. But, you know, it's kind of like Nibiru off of Prosperity in that it gets a lot less good if your opponent knows that you have it. Josh raid! Holy shit! Josh, thank you for the big ol' raid. 1317. Every day, Josh is getting more viewers. I logged on this morning, 2200 on the boys' channel. It has been inspiring to see him grow. It's really amazing to see that people are still interested in competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! And scratch that. People are interested in seeing a competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Player suffer. That's interesting to see. Anyway, I think this guy's like fine. I think he's all right. I definitely think that he is better than people are giving him credit for. I don't think he's good enough to be the difference maker in Chimera, but he could easily find a home there. MBT is an emissary of the Ghost Trick community. I demand an explanation. Why are there pearly cards and hand traps in your Ghost Trick deck? It's Halloween. Play Skeleton Mill or Ghoul Beatdown properly, or we will never watch your stream again or promote your stupid plant combo spreadsheets again. I think this is you're at the wrong channel. I've never done a combo in my life. Next up. We have a Doggy. Okay, this is not a... Okay, chat, sound off. Is this a Doggy or is this a Catty? Getting a lot of rabbit. It's a rat. A rat, cat. It's a Pearly. All right. I will say it because we're all thinking it. You know what? Actually, I'm not going to say it. Because we're all thinking it, I don't even have to say it, in fact. You all know what I'm about to say. Okay, it's called Fluffy Fluff. You can only use this card's second and third effect of this card's name once per turn. If this card battles a monster, neither can be destroyed by battle. It's an illusion. During your main phase, you can change this card to face down defense position, flip, draw card. We are munching all noobs again! We are once more munching all noobs. Pearly Advantage Cat munches all noobs. The pack is back. Goes chomping at his feet. Pack's our hero. This card is not good. Okay, this is very funny. Illusionist of Jongular Ghoul. It's just a normal monster. They just made a normal monster illusion. He doesn't have the illusion effect, but not all illusions have that effect anyway. He's just a guy. I love that he's pointing. I love that his glove has a Millennium Eye on it. It's very funny. More shit like this, please, Konami. All right, next up. That's it. We got to get an emote of Jongular Ghoul for sure. All right, spells. First up, Protean is the name of the spell. Is this like from the anime or something? Target a face-up monster card in the spell and trap card zone to activate one of these effects. Special it to its owner's field, return it to the hand, destroy it, then destroy a monster on the field with the equal or lower level. Oh, fuck. Is this Vision Hero support? Ugh. All right, this card is not very good. Unsearchable, only works by getting rid of increase. This is not a good card. Next up. White Eye Pressure. That's what it's called when I'm staring at you. If you ever play against me, you're going to feel some white eye pressure. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn, only once that turn. They can only be activated if the combined number of cards in the monster zone and face-up monster cards in the spell and trap zone equals 10 or more, and this is a spell, so How the fuck? So some of your opponent's cards are going to have to be in the back row. Place a monster from your deck in your face-up spell and trap card zone as a continuous spell. You can banish this from your graveyard. Place a monster. What the fuck? This is so goddamn stupid. This card sucks. There's probably something funny you can play it in, but no, this is not real. Next up. Okay, these are just the random guys. First up, we have Time Rewinder. Why he look like a Vylon, though? Why he look like a Vylon, though? If a monster on the field is flipped face up during the main phase, special this card from your hand, then change a face-up monster on the field to face-down defense position. Finally, we have the counter to that illusion cat. We finally have the Guru counter. If this card is flipped face-up during the main phase, target a monster in your graveyard, special it in defense position, then change a face-up monster on the field to face-down defense position. I'm trying to figure out how you can abuse this in, like, Prediction Princess, and I'm not coming up with anything. It's like they maybe want you to play this in Prediction Princess, but they've done everything to ensure that you can't. Like 8 stars. You flip it up. It's not a flip monster. You flip it up. It targets a monster and puts it face down, but you have no way to put that one up. Make no mistake, you will see this card. It's going to show up in like terrible empty jar lists that end up on table 500 or sub replay Friday with Book of Tayu. All right. Next up. Berserk Demon. What the fuck? Where did this guy come from? He looks like shit. All right. This guy's a prime candidate for that surgery where they break all of the legs in your bones so that you get an extra couple of inches. You know, the Gattaca surgery. He's like swole the fuck out, and he's like 3'5". I don't know. I feel like I see a lot of guys who are like 4'8" and like just ripped. And I'm always like, well, of course it was easy for you to get ripped. You didn't have much to get ripped. But I'm always like, are they compensating for something? Where are the like schlubby 4'10" guys at? If you're like a short guy and you look like shit, sound off in chat. We out here. Yeah, let's go. All right, next up. You can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. 1. You can target up to 2 face-up monsters you control, including a fiend monster. Special this card from your hand, and if you do destroy those monsters, it's fucking Unchained support. God damn it. When a monster is destroyed by this card's first effect, target an equal number of face-up monsters your opponent controls. This card gains attack equal to those monsters' original attack until the end of your next turn. Okay. Thankfully, it is dog shit Unchained support. What if a Ruha could only pop monsters, and it had to pop 2 of them, and then the upside was you gain attack points. Whoa! Up to 2? Fuck! Alright, that probably changes the math on some things. And it's a 6-star monster. Yeah, this conceivably could see play. I wonder how much they want a non-quick effect Sharvara, though. I feel like they probably don't. Maybe they do. The ability to go target it, you go chain, they go target Sharvara. That's pretty cool. Can't pop spell traps. Yeah. It's closer, but I don't think Unchained is hurting for this effect, to be honest. What is this? Is Stranger Big Banger. Level 5. Is this, this is, what's his name? That shitty Sidra card, right? But he's, like, evil now. If a monster special summon from the extra deck is on the field, you can special this card from your hand. Yeah. During your main phase, you can reduce the levels of as many other face-up monsters currently on the field as possible by 1. And if you do, increase this cards by the number of monsters whose level was reduced this way. Okay. During your battle phase or your opponent's main phase, if this card's level is 8 or higher, destroy a card on the field. If you do, this card's level becomes 5. This card is shit. This card is dog shit. He's the level sucker. I don't think he really is good at all. Next up. Yeah! Speaking of short guys who look like shit, Doyo Chatsubo. I wonder what this is going to be called in America. It'll be called, like, the Breadstick Demon. Zombie Tuner. Oh, God. All right. Level 3, Dark, 500, 0. Face down defense position monsters in this card's column cannot change their battle positions. Why are we all of these cards are like, guys, we got to do something about fucking flip control. Guru is everywhere. Neither player can activate set cards in this card's column's spell and trap zones. During your main phase, you can move this card to an unused adjacent MMZ. And if this card is moved from one monster zone to another, change all monsters in its column to face down defense position. Hold up. This card's interesting, actually. I wish there was a way to get it out without using your normal. Because if it was like a free special, it would just read, this is either Cosmic Cyclone or Infinite Impermanence, depending on what you need. Which is really good. That's like a really good flexible card. But at the cost of your normal, I don't really want to do that. It's a zombie. I understand it's a zombie. I want to play it in a good deck. Yeah, it is interesting. It is close. I'm going to be honest. It's much closer than I think people are giving it credit for, but using your normal, I don't think so. This is maybe funny. I mean, no one's going to play this because the deck sucks ass, but it's maybe funny in like Kashtira. You go like special unicorn, and then before you commit to anything, you normal this guy. Or, yeah, you would have to. And then you get to lock like the imperm or like your opponent's Baron or something, and then it can convert into a Baron. But it actually works the wrong way, right? Because you have to special the guy you don't want negated or their position changed or something, then normal this guy. So then they go, okay, I will now use my targeted interaction. It also doesn't lock monster effects on summon the way it does back row, which is kind of cool. So if they have like targeted negation from a monster, it sucks. And the other thing that kind of sucks is that there's a couple of like monsters that it's meant to deal with that it doesn't. There's one. It's Apollosa. Like, this card doesn't deal with Apollosa. It deals with all the other shit, but for some reason there's one monster that is a generic negation tool in the extra deck that can't go face down. Yeah, no, I think this is worth consideration for sure, but I don't think that I'm going to be playing it. I needed a new series to watch and came across History of Jank. I started from the beginning and watched 2 where you played Pac-Man and got owned. True. Oh, there was a dono as well that I just skipped over. Dovetail Echo, thank you for the 5. I believe they are delaying 5D solo modes as much as they can because they don't want to let people get synchro combo endorphins for free. Yeah, they make you pay for that shit. All right. Time for the big one. This is Doggy. This card's Doggy. Principug. Target a face-up monster you control that can't be normal summoner set with Guardian. Okay, so this isn't a difference maker in Guardian because Guardian sucks shit, and it's not even a particularly good support card for Guardian, but it begs the question, why are we printing Guardian support? And why does it look like this? Next up. Ooh. Dino Stacking. That is not the name of it. It's going to be called Dice Noceros is what it's going to be called. Once per turn, when a card or effect is activated, roll a 6-sided die and apply this effect based on the effect's chain link number. 2, it gains 500 for each result. 3, it's Chain Strike. 4, destroy cards on the field up to the result. This is very funny. This is very funny. I will try to break this. Moonhaze Dragon Vagnawa. Whoa. Look at this art. It's beautiful. It looks so good. Okay. If this card is Synchro summoned, you can make it gain attack equal to the total levels of the non-tuners used as material, times 300. Then, okay, it's a fucking, it's Cowboy, but for Synchros. All right, well, they needed one, so that's fine. That will see heavy play. Extensive play. These cards are all ass. They're not very good. This one's interesting, and this one maybe has a home in bad Unchained decks, but, and of course the Synchro is, finally we have a time card for Synchro. What level was it? 7. So a 4 and a 3 tuner. That's pretty easy to get to. All right, those are the new cards. PogChamp, as they say.